What is the read across then to the other retail names if they are taking market share possibly from other higher end retailers? Who are those that are going to suffer?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, food retail is an intensely competitive, relatively low margin industry, and market share gains often come at the expense of others. What Walmart has as a competitive advantage is those economies of scale. So, because of its size, because of its scale, it can often demand discounts versus suppliers that are uh, smaller outfit like a Whole Foods, for example, might not be able to garner. And when it leverages that kind of scale and passes on those price benefits to the consumer, it tends to win market share, and that comes at the expense of other retailers, and that tends to set emotion. And if you look at the UK, for example, historically post 2008, we've seen retailers adopt a similar strategy to really strong effect. The German discounters like Aldi and Lidl, for example, have had a lot of success implementing that kind of strategy.
Well, I wanted to get to the bottom of the stock market action that we witnessed, because it felt as though in some ways Walmart came out a couple of weeks ago, just explained the bear case, just how bad it was on the inventory side, what they're seeing on consumers. But then magically we seem to have better traffic numbers coming through in July and August. Is this something about Walmart and its rivals managing expectations into earnings season, or are we actually seeing some sort of change around peak inflation where consumers are picking up now because we are seeing it's like cooling off in prices?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think one thing worth highlighting is obviously gas prices in the US have moderated a little bit during the quarter. And so that's something that's worth considering. The other thing is as well, like I said, during the quarter, we did start to see some of the higher income segments of the consumer start to shop at Walmart. For the start of this year, it was really the lower income consumer that was feeling the pressure, but now we're starting to see that phenomenon play out across the consumer spectrum more broadly. But communication is another big issue. You're completely right to point that out. I think the companies could have perhaps done a better job in terms of managing expectations. But now that the picture is a bit more clearer in terms of inflation, then I think the companies are starting to communicate much more clearly with the market, and we might see less of these types of surprises going forward.